You're really only one decision away from changing your life for better or worse. I was at the gym earlier today and I was thinking a lot about how me posting a TikTok when I was 15 changed my life. Now, I'm no millionaire or anything like that, but I'm growing a lot. I'm becoming more successful. This business, I've traveled to different states. I've done so many things. And when I think about it, it all happened because when I was 15 years old, I said, I'm going to start making videos on the internet, having no idea that all of this would happen. Having no idea that right now I would have written multiple books, offering one-on-one coaching to people, link in the description, going on all these podcasts, having my own podcast, doing all these things. I just never knew all of this would happen. And we can also think on the opposite extreme where people end up in prison because one decision changed their life and now they're behind bars for 25 years. One decision can change your life at any moment. You might go up to that girl or that guy and say, hey, my name is Lawrence. My name is Sarah, whatever. And that person ends up becoming your husband or wife. And you have a beautiful family and a big house. You might go to a job interview, you get hired, one thing leads to another, and you have a great income. You get your first car, one thing leads to another, and you end up doing Uber and DoorDash. I'm trying to think of different examples that are realistic and extreme. Let's say one day you decide, this is what happened with me. I ended up losing my job at McDonald's. So I'm looking for different jobs on the internet, and as I'm scrolling and looking through YouTube, I search up high paying jobs for 18-year-olds. I find out about sales. And I stumbled across this guy named Andy Elliott. He's talking about car sales. So I looked into what do I need in order to become a car salesman. I need a driver's license. Didn't have that. But he's talking about how sales is a skill and how there's so many different jobs and different pathways. I find out about door-to-door sales. That led me to working a job in New Jersey, which is 2 hours away from where I live. I catch a bus there, catch the bus back. And while there, I learned so many valuable skills. I learned about how to communicate more effectively. I learned about pitching. I learned about consistency. I learned about not giving up. I learned about how to push myself, how to keep a schedule, how to be independent, how to manage my money. I learned so many things. Fast forward, and as I'm running this speaking business, the things I learned knocking on strangers' doors have benefited me when it comes to emailing, have benefited me when it comes to selling my books, have benefited me when it comes to speaking at these conferences and events. So, when you make one small decision, you don't know where it's going to take you. I can genuinely say that me posting videos on the internet changed my life. Me doing door-to-door sales changed my life. I learned skills that will benefit me until the day I die. And you can do the same thing. I'm really nothing special. I'm just a guy who decided I'm going to start making videos. I'm just a guy who read a bunch of books, had a bunch of life experiences, and said, you know what? I have my own ideas. I have my own theories. I'm going to put it out there. And it wasn't all smooth sailing. I had a lot of time where people left mean comments. I had a lot of time where people DM'd me some really mean stuff. I had a lot of time where I felt unsure. I felt insecure. I was unconfident. I had those moments. But it's in these moments, It's in the small decision that I'm going to show up today. I'm going to show up again and again. And every day you make a small decision that I'm going to keep going. Some days you're going to take one step forward. Some days it's going to be difficult and you're going to take 5 steps back. But it's after you take those 5 steps back and you keep showing up that you take a leap forward and you jump a mile. And as you're doing this, the people who are successful in whatever you're doing, once they see you, it's kind of like they see themselves in you. They see that they wish that they had somebody when they were at your stage, so they'll offer you help. That help might be advice. That help might be free stuff. Or in my case, that help was when it was August 28th. Well, it was August 28th, 2025. I reach out to a podcast host. His name's Mike. And he tells me that, hey, let's record this podcast in person. Keep in mind, at this point in time, I had never been on a plane, and one thing leads to another. I'm at the airport, flying 800 miles across the country by myself to meet this guy that I met off the internet to record a podcast. And I didn't have money for an Airbnb or a place to stay. So he's like, no worries, I have a guest house. And it was wonderful. The guy bought me food. He took me to the podcast studio. It was a wonderful, blessed experience. And as I'm there and I'm, networking and, well, I wasn't networking per se, but I was just amazed. Like, I'm in this town by myself. The people here are so nice and friendly. It changed my whole worldview. Like, it opened my eyes to what is really possible. I had so many dreams and so many thoughts and like these, one day I'm going to be doing this. One day, somehow, some way I'm going to be doing this. But when you're actually on that plane, when boots hit the ground, when you get in the water and you start swimming, it changes your whole way of thinking. Because now you're not thinking of one day, somehow, some way, I'll get there. But no, you're here. And it all starts with one decision. The decision to email that guy changed my life. The decision to post a TikTok when I was 15 changed my life. The decision to make a YouTube channel. The decision to show up. The decision to never give up. The decision, it could be one small thing that starts it. It's the spark that starts the fire. It's the one drop before the storm. And that storm can be chaotic. It can feel like so much is happening. It's difficult. I'm scared. This is unfamiliar. But it's in the unfamiliar times that the blessing is in there. Right? You have to go through the storm to get to the rainbow. But the funny thing is, in the storm, that is where you're being built. It's where you're getting prepared. It's where you're learning how to handle it. Because if I gave you $1 million right now, you'd blow it. You wouldn't know what to do with it. You're not built for that. But you're able to become built for that. Great example. A baby can't drive a car. Its feet aren't big enough. It has to grow. A 12-year-old does not know how to drive. They don't have a license. They never got in behind the wheel. That's why you got to take the permit test. And then you have to have an instructor. And then you have to do the driver's test. And you might fail a couple times, but every time you quote unquote fail, you're learning something new. Every time that you decide, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep showing up. I refuse to back down. Eventually, there comes the day when it all comes together. You realize that that manager you had when you were 16 years old working at McDonald's who always got on your nerves, that taught you how to deal with people who frustrate you in a respectful way. Those times where you didn't have no money and you had to eat ramen noodles every night throughout college, that taught you how to budget. Those times where you asked that girl out and she said no and made fun of you, That taught you how to handle rejection. Those times where you lost that job and you wasn't sure how to make income, that taught you how to, I don't know, manage your money in a way. That taught you how to get creative. That taught you, you know what, I don't know what to do, but let me think. I could sell some stuff. I could get rid of some stuff I'm not using no more. It taught you how to handle pressure. Those times where things was falling apart and life was chaotic, it taught you how to remain calm even in the storm. So every moment you have the opportunity to make a decision that could change your life for the better or for the worse. Because when money is tight, the decision could be, you know what, I'm going to apply to another job. I'm going to try to sell some stuff. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. Or you have the decision that, you know what, I'm going to go commit a crime. I'm going to go rob this person. I'm going to go rob a bank or something. Those decisions are there. And you're the one who had to make the decision of what am I going to do? You're the one who had to make the decision of am I going to back down or am I going to get back up? Am I going to stay on the ground or am I going to stand tall even when it feels like the world is knocking me down? So, the lesson of this podcast episode is plain and simple. You have the power to make a decision. The decision of am I going to keep going or am I going to give up? You're one decision away from changing your life. But Lawrence, I made a decision and I don't see results overnight. I don't see any changes. I don't see anything happening. When you plant a seed in the ground, it doesn't grow immediately. You got to plant it. That's the decision. The decision is I put the seed in the ground. I planted it. I watered it. I gave it sunshine. I don't see results today, but that one small decision of I'm going to put this seed in the ground, give it some time, and you have a giant oak tree. You don't get the oak tree overnight. It's not instant. It's not immediate. It's the one decision that set everything in motion. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, if you're looking for one-on-one coaching on improving your mindset, confidence, self-belief, and becoming the person that you know you're capable of, link is in the description, as well as podcast guesting, booking me for your organization or high school. You can find all of that in the description. Have a wonderful, blessed day.